Welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events. I am your chief weather geek, Todd Jacobian, in my Channel 7 Weather Center West. Forget the 90s. How does 100 degrees sound next week? Some of you cheering. The other ones? Yeah, I know. I'm in the boo category. I don't like the 100s. Even if our actual air temperature doesn't touch 100 degrees, it will feel like it with the humidity next week. This doesn't really get going until Monday, Tuesday, that time frame, and the heat index is really going to start to build. We also have another frontal boundary heading our way over the weekend. It's a pleasant weather to enjoy in the immediate future, but I want to concentrate on what's going to happen next week because I think we are going to have our first heat wave come into the state. I'm going to concentrate on one of the computer models, long-range computer models that I really enjoy looking at, called the European, and it is forecasting 100-degree temperatures for portions of Arkansas, and then a frontal boundary should move in by the end of next week, according to this one piece of data. Remember, we're just looking at one model. It's in the long range, so things can change, but it does have a frontal boundary coming in, which, mixing with that hot and humid air, could touch off some big thunderstorms. So I want to get straight into the model data, get you ready for this little heat wave. We're calling it a mini heat wave, M-I-N-I. We hope we don't have many heat waves, M-A-N-Y. So here's a look at the model data right now. We're going to start off with 500 millibars, and just to make you aware of exactly what that is, I know that might be a little confusing. We're looking at the upper levels here. We're several thousands of feet up, tens of thousands of feet up into the atmosphere. We're looking at all the disturbances and the ridges and the troughs riding across through the jet stream level here, and you can see that there's a trough here. I've got this on Saturday. At 7 o'clock in the evening, and there's a bit of a trough right in here. You can see some upper level energy right here. This is late Saturday, and we're watching for this to bring in a disturbance. See that trough? It gets pretty strong, and it comes through Sunday and into Monday. That should bring a frontal boundary into the state with some rain and some thunderstorm activity, but as this exits the state, look at this ridging, which will replace it and build towards the east. It's going to head towards the east and chase that trough out. And that's when the heat wave begins. Watch how that low moves out, and look at that ridging building in. Tuesday, this is Tuesday at 7 p.m. You see the ridging, especially through Texas, Oklahoma, and edging into Arkansas. And it really takes hold across the southern United States for much of next week. This is Wednesday at noon, Thursday, so you have some upper level ridging. Notice though, it does flatten out. There seems to be some upper level energy that tries to flatten it out towards the, and pushes it, retrogrades it back towards the west, the center of that ridge, and moves it a little bit further away by the end of next week. That may allow for a frontal boundary to edge in through the back door through northeastern Arkansas. But the majority of next week, I think we're going to see the hottest temperatures so far this year, and well into the 90s. It's going to feel like summertime. Let's take a look at these temperatures, because this is what I really want to key in on, and we're going to start this on Monday. Let's go a little bit sooner than that, just to show you on Sunday. This is at 7 p.m. We're in the 70s and 80s, and some of this may be rain-cooled air. You got that new that area of low pressure loft coming through, so you got some cooler temperatures across a good majority, the northern two-thirds of the state. Again, clouds and rain in that frontal boundary keeping those temperatures cooler late in the day Sunday. But look what's lurking out here in the west. I don't know if you can read all these small numbers, but you got hundreds and 90s out here towards the west. Again, that's late Sunday. How about late Monday? Well, the cooler air is getting chased out, and look at this. You got temperatures in the Texas, Oklahoma panhandle, as well as West Kansas, 100 degrees or greater late Monday rather, and late Tuesday, it's showing central Arkansas around 95 degrees. This is the European model again, and temperatures out into the high plains of Kansas, 105 degrees or higher in some spots. Now you can really see how this model does a fantastic job of taking into effect the higher elevations of west central Arkansas, also the northern mountains, just a touch cooler there, and the river valley is very, very hot. Now, the one thing that I could see that goes wrong with this is, remember the flooding rainfall across western Arkansas. The ground is pretty saturated, and the sun's energy will go into evaporation, and energy will be concentrated into that initially until the soil gets drier, and then the air is heated up. But the trade-off with that is that you have a lot of humidity, so the heat index readings are going to be off the charts warm. So that's late Tuesday. Let's go late Wednesday. And again, another day where we're in the mid-90s and the 100s underneath the center of that high pressure in Texas and Oklahoma. We're talking about hundreds, easily 105, 106 degrees out here into the plains. And then the further away you get from that center of high pressure, it does cool off, but we're still in the 90s. And look at this, the European model is showing 97 degrees here in Jefferson County and also in Drew County, Union County, Washita County. We got temperatures into the mid and upper 90s as we head through that portion of the week. Late Thursday, look at this. The European model, late Thursday, 100 degrees is what the European model has in central Arkansas, 101. Long range, we're getting further and out. The accuracy is not all that great, but remember how I told you that there would be a frontal boundary, and you can actually see the effects of that frontal boundary moving into northern Arkansas. So this is halfway believable because a lot of times what happens directly out in front of these boundaries this time of the year, you can get a southwest-west flow developing and you get some strong heating directly in front of these boundaries. It's like a frictional effect. And these temperatures are 100 degrees across much of Arkansas, right through central, southern, and even up towards Independence County. Look at the temperatures out towards the west, 105 degrees or greater. So again, that frontal boundary tries to come in and that area of high pressure begins to move back towards the west, what we call retrograde. It moves back towards the western United States. All right, so now let's go into late Friday. There's the front. And you get the front mixing with that heat, and you could touch off some pretty big thunderstorms. So it's in the 80s in northeast Arkansas. This comes in through the back door, comes in from a different direction, from the northeast to the southwest. So you've got this boundary coming through where it's in the 90s to near 100 degrees in this portion of the state. But look at this, 80s for northeast Arkansas as that area of high pressure again moves away by the end of next week. So directly in front of that boundary, we could get close to 100 degrees according to the European model. Let's just go a little bit further into next Saturday. This is next Saturday, and it looks like that ridge just maybe trying to build back in a little bit, and that cooler air is starting to move on back towards the east. So again, it looks like we're going to have our first mini heat wave, M-I-N-I, and I hope we don't have many heat waves this summer, M-A-N-Y. This summer, compared to the past three, I think will be cooler, just because the law of averages has to kick in at some point. Nothing scientific. I don't think you can have 4 summers just as incredibly and record-breaking hot as we just went through. So hopefully this summer will be different. I really hope so. But again, next week prepare for some heat. And again, the humidity is going to make it feel a lot hotter than the actual air temperature with all that moisture in the soil. So thank you very much for coming here to the Arkansas Weather Blog. I'll keep you updated on Facebook and Twitter. We are your ticket to big weather events.